Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Walla from Prestige Animal Hospital in Fontana, California, and today we'll be discussing cat heartworm, and hopefully we can help you get a better understanding of what that is. Judy will be helping me today by asking the questions, so take it away, Judy.
All right, Dr. Walla, what is heartworms in cats?
So heartworm is not a worm what people think that, hey, they do a poop test and they can see the worms or parasites on the stool. No. Heartworm is a worm that's transmitted by mosquitoes that travels through the blood as a larva and develops into a worm in the body. And sometimes these worms could be as long as 12 inches. So it derives its name because it's a worm that essentially lives in the heart.
Okay. And I feel like you answered the question on how cats get heartworms, but what do veterinarians recommend as a heartworm prevention for cats?
So just in case nobody heard in the previous question, they get it from mosquitoes feeding on the pets. But as prevention, we generally recommend a topical medication that helps prevent heartworms in kitty cats.
Okay. And then is there any specific symptoms or how do you spot those heartworm symptoms in cats?
So here's the tricky things, guys. Cats are many times, 80% of cats are asymptomatic, which means they will not show any clinical signs or symptoms of having heartworm. By the time you see symptoms, many times, you're already at the later stages, which is why prevention is so much more important in kitty cats. Symptoms can be vomiting, diarrhea, but a lot of times you start seeing more respiratory issues in cats. Asthma, panting. Cats, I've mentioned this in my videos before, cats don't pant. If you see any panting, that's an area of concern, bring them in. But acting down, lethargic, loss of appetite, weight loss, it's kind of more generalized symptoms, but a lot of it is respiratory. There have been some times where some cats get a pretty serious nosebleed, and that's been associated with heartworm disease as well. So those are some things to just watch for.
Okay. And then how will a veterinarian diagnose heartworm in a cat?
So diagnosing heartworm in cats can be a little bit tricky, but the best method that we've found is basically it's a blood test to really detect antibodies of the worms. Unlike dogs where they can be hundreds of worms living in a dog's heart, cats generally have 1 to 3 worms. That's what makes it a little bit more challenging to diagnose, but that one worm, that small heart, can cause serious inflammatory issues. And even though we say heartworm in cats, it's more of an inflammatory issue of the lungs. That's why we always say you watch the breathing pattern, because the worm causes issues in breathing and inflammation in those lungs. So basically, heartworm detection is diagnosed by a blood test, antibody test, and or x-rays or ultrasound to make sure we can see if we can see changes in the heart.
Okay. And then last question, why is early detection and diagnosis of heartworms so important?
So early detection and diagnosis of heartworm is so important because the earlier detected, better the prognosis is for treatment. Kitty cats, again, it can be very difficult to detect. Much better to keep them on prevention, guys. Even if they're indoor, that one mosquito gets in, or they go outside just for a brief moment. I have so many people say, oh, you have an indoor only kitty, and I start asking them more questions, and the response is, well, he goes outside once in a while in the backyard, but comes right back in. Remember, these are all areas where a mosquito can bite them, even inside. So make sure you keep them on prevention, please. It's becoming more of an issue, and a lot of cats are asymptomatic and will have sudden death due to it. So if you have any other questions regarding cat heartworms, please visit our website, prestigeanimalhospital.com, or give us a call and set an appointment if you have any concerns in regards to anything we discussed. And we're always here to help you. Thank you very much.